Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. We welcome you to the Let's Talk Fabulous show with Tamara. My name is Tamara Hunter, and I am your host. This is a show where we explore our fabulous lives. And today we have a worldwide international panel, my friends, that are here to celebrate a day of celebration. Many call it Easter. And without further ado, I want to introduce you to our panel and let's talk. We have many of our panelists, and you know what? I always said whenever it was a holiday that we have an open house that is, at my home, it was always that revolving door kind of situation. So we have one of our panelists that we're still waiting to have, and we have a little bit of a background noise that's happening. And so what I'm going to ask is that our panelists mute unless you're called upon, and so that we can be aware of the background for our listening audience. I am going to go around, though, the room, if you will, and have everybody introduce themselves. And what I would like is for you to say your name and where in the world you are today. And then we're going to go deeper into things after that. So, Dr. Vicky, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and where are you today?
Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Vicky Omifolaji. I'm joining you all the way from Melbourne, Australia.
Okay, we have a bit of there we go. I think we just took care of it. All right, so Dr. Vicky from Australia. Thank you very much. Bilyana.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. I'm joining from Bulgaria right now, East Europe.
From Bulgaria. Awesome, awesome. Mark.
Hey everyone, Mark Stephan Pooler here, and I'm in Birmingham, England, and it's great to be here.
I'm happy you're here too, my dear. And Juanita.
Good day, everyone. I'm Juanita Kapp from South Africa. Thank you so much, Tamara. Always lovely to spend time with you.
I love it. I love it. And then we have one more that's going to be joining us very, very shortly. However, we're going to play a little bit of a game, and then we're going to see a video. I am going to ask, show of hands right now, who of our international panel, we kind of established that, and I'm representing the United States today. That's where I am. Branson, Missouri, United States. Who here has lived in more than one country? Raise your hands. Okay. I'm going to go around again. Dr. Vicky, where else? You're in Australia right now. Where else have you lived? Okay, we've got you. Let me get you unmuted here. Okay, there we go.
I've lived in United States, South Africa. Where else? A few other places.
Okay, so international, definitely. Okay, awesome. Bilyana?
I was born and raised in Bulgaria. Then I lived in England, London, then in Monaco, then in Nice in France. I was also in Mauritius. I lived in Dublin, in Ireland, in Belgium for a little bit. And I think that's it.
Okay, so let's just say a few places more than one hand, definitely. Okay, and then Juanita.
Let's make the show interesting, Tamara. I've been born and bred here in South Africa, but I'm manifesting right now. I'm going to immigrate to the States soon.
Okay, I love it. And Mark, you've been in England and anywhere else?
Just England for me. I've moved around England, but I've not been fortunate yet to move to another country. But again, I'd love to live in the USA as well.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, with that said, I also want to let everybody know that, yes, today's a celebration, and our audience is like family here, and we want to say welcome to all of you that are joining us. We want to I can't go without saying thank you to our ambassador, Helene, who welcomes everybody to the show each and every week. Thank you for all that you do. We're so excited. And Caroline, thank you for reminding everybody to hashtag live, hashtag replay. Oh my goodness, Dr. Dante, may I just say, love you and so happy to see you and celebrate with you today. Patty Mays, always, you are a beautiful soul sister. Love you, love you. And let's see, we have Sarah. And welcome, Sarah. We are grateful that you're here with us. And we also, let's see, have, okay, and Purple Pin lives everywhere. Isn't that the truth? Okay, now with that, I am going to play a video of someone that's not here, but was going to be with us. And I'm going to start off the conversation after this video.
I'm Dr. Sophie Nubani. I'm a creatrix, executive coach, global consultant, and award-winning best-selling author of Optimize Your Creative Mindset book series and Hide No More. I am very happy today to be part of the Easter theme on Let's Talk Fabulous with the Tamara Show. And my birth country of origin is Amman, Jordan. The highest percentage of the population in Amman are about 92% are Muslims and about 6% are Christians, and the remainder is other religious backgrounds. The tradition is very familiar to many, aside of the painting of the Easter eggs and Easter hunt baskets, and there's other, like going to church and actually having dinner with family and friends on that day, as well as the traditional sweets of kak and mamul. There are a lot of beautiful things around the world, and Jordan is one of the Middle Eastern countries that actually is open and very accepting to celebrating different cultures and religious backgrounds for those who are residents of Jordan. Looking forward to always celebrate beautiful moments with everyone that is listening as well that is celebrating. May you all have a happy Easter and many blessings to all.
I really wanted to recognize that Dr. Sophie and actually Juanita were the ones that helped me to come up with the theme for today's show, because we have a holiday today. Many celebrate Easter Sunday. However, there are many others that celebrate this time of year for a variety of other holidays, and it was mentioned in that video, religious reasons, Passover, we have spring, we have the spring equinox, we have a variety of different types of Easters, which we're going to talk about that also. And what I wanted to do here was to share how we're more alike in the world than we are different. Yet we have different areas of the world that are represented here. So let's open it up a bit because of the fact that, okay, we've got Sarah who, yay. Sarah is one from our, also, Sarah, we want to introduce you before we go on any further. Sarah, where are you from today?
I'm from Nairobi, Kenya.
From Nairobi, Kenya. So we have two from the African country. And the other question we had so far is, Sarah, have you lived anywhere else besides Kenya?
No.
Okay. All right.
Yes. Just remembered. I studied in Uganda for 7 years. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I am going to right now play one more video, and then that's going to help to set us off to talking about what it is this day is all about. Bilyana, you sent in a very interesting video with all sorts of fun stuff. Let's play that and then we're going to go into it.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are around this beautiful world. And hello from Bulgaria, where I am right now. It's in East Europe. We've got the two religions here. The Catholics are celebrating Easter this weekend. The Orthodox are celebrating next weekend. With the Orthodox, it's very interesting as Thursday is a Holy Thursday, and we paint eggs. We boil the eggs, as many as we can, eggs, and then we paint them in different beautiful colors. I'm gonna attach a few pictures onto that video. So on Sunday morning, usually kids are the most excited for that game. What we have as a game is that everyone chooses an egg, and then we try to break the egg of someone else with the hope that our egg is gonna survive and we're gonna break someone else's egg. So whoever is the winner, it's the one whose egg is whole and is not broken. That is the winner. So we have a long family lunch, like 2-3 hours lunch. We eat lamb. We have a green salad with lettuce and pieces of the boiled eggs, what we used for the game before that. And we have this sweet bread, which is very close to panettone in the Italian sweet bread. So yes, very family-oriented celebration. We celebrate spring on a different day, on 25th of March, so that is already gone from our calendar. But as you can see, Easter is full on in Bulgaria.
Okay, so we've set it up. Many get together and have, like, I love the family game. I was envisioning it myself, and I'm thinking, oh, my kids would have had fun with that, taking an egg and trying to break everybody else's. I just saw all this mayhem going on and giggles. And I was talking to one of my kids today, and they were saying exactly that this was the holiday that they remember the most in their lives as being a fun holiday for kids. I'd like to go around now and hear from all of you. What is it that sets this period of time apart, where it is that you are in the world? And why don't we start? I'm going to start to my left. Dr. Vicky, you can share first of all, you're in Australia, and it's what time of the day is it, and what day is it? I'd love to know that.
All right. Right now is past 5 in the morning on Monday morning. So it's Easter Monday already. So I think it's around 5:15 in the morning at the moment on Monday morning.
And either in Australia or some of the other areas that you've been, United States or Africa, what is something that stands out in your mind in regards to this period of time, this kind of a holiday season?
I was born and raised in Nigeria. Nigeria is in the west of Africa. Growing up and celebrating Easter is totally different from what I experienced after moving away from Nigeria. It's not the same at all. While in Nigeria, as a child growing up and celebrating Easter, usually it was always a somber moment, a period whereby we celebrate and we look within. And I remember going to church on Friday and spending hours and hours at church. And my father, being a pastor, will preach about, 7 messages about Christ being on the cross. And usually the messages never grow old, ever. And I'm talking about 20 years of me listening to these messages again and again every single year. Will never grew old. The time that, you look within and, you reflect and you ask for forgiveness if you have to and all that kind of stuff. And then on Sunday, we celebrate Jesus, is risen. Okay, we celebrate that, as if, wow, he has risen. And we actually do celebrate it. We celebrate it by having new clothes. We celebrate it by spending the time with the family. We celebrate it by eating nice meals, the meals that we reserve for festivities. That's when we actually do the celebration. And on Monday, which is Easter Monday, we now go for picnics. We call it going to the Galilee. So we go we go for picnics. Everybody pack their baskets and everything, and we meet with other kids, dad and mom, preaching, and always so fun. But when I moved away and I moved to South Africa first, and then, UK, US at a time, and then eventually I settled here in Australia, it's totally different. It's usually about Easter eggs and bunnies, which I still struggle to find the correlation or the connection between Jesus on the cross and bunnies and Easter eggs. I still don't know, but of course that's always been the culture, which is different from how I grew up.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that so very much. Mark, I'm going to go to you. What about you in England?
So for me personally, and I'm sure many people throughout the UK, it's a lot of chocolate, Tamara. So lots of Easter eggs, and I'm sure that's familiar all around the world. Lots of chocolate Easter eggs, lots of nice chocolate. Also, it's a time for family as well, spending time with family. And in England, we like to go out for pub lunches. So nice meals with the family out at pub lunches. I'm sure there are lots of people in the UK that also do go to church. For me, it's more of a pub lunch, chocolate, and spending time with family.
And thank you. And, and that's what I wanted to also experience here is that, that we are more alike than separate. Yes. And family, when you think about it too, that might be slightly different in what was just shared, and yet there was a commonality. And yeah. I love that. The meal, the getting together, the time together, that is universal in so many different ways. So thank you for sharing that. I'm going to actually go to a video, and then I'm going to go to our next person right here.
Good morning, beautiful friends. It's Robyn Jordan here, and I'm tuning in from the beautiful Queensland coast in Hervey Bay in Australia. I am a New Zealander that has been in Australia now for 15 years, and I call it home. I've got 2 homes. Actually, I've got 3. I'm going home one day to be with Jesus, but I live in this beautiful place, and I love going back to New Zealand. We are actually experiencing autumn here in the southern hemisphere, and where I am is the most beautiful spot. It's gorgeous, it's still swimming weather, and probably likened to a little bit like Florida really, where the seasons are not so extreme. I've come from a place originally where the autumn leaves are setting and the coolness is setting in for the night, and I'm just loving being in this beautiful, beautiful, warm, balmy place. this year, Easter looks a little different. I've actually been travelling around. I got rid of most of my things. My journey is a little bit about surrendering to the external and really building in my internal world, and knowing that what was is no longer, but what is what matters now. And family gatherings are a little different these years after my family unit splintered after 32 years of marriage, and it's learning to accept that what was is in the past and really embracing the future now in the moment, and knowing that everything is working perfectly out for us. Easter to me is claiming and working in that freedom that God's given me and He's given you. Claiming that freedom, and freedom to me is letting go of what no longer serves, letting go of what our expectations are, and embracing you now.
Robyn's been having a few difficulties coming in and out of the studio. We've had a few of them today, and I'm sorry for that. However, I thought that it was so amazing and beautiful in that she was sharing that I think a lot of people can relate to this, is that when you look back on holidays today, when we look today and then a year from now and then 5 years from now, it's going to look different. We go through those family cycles, we go through our individual cycles. And when you mentioned this, Dr. Vicky, I actually thought, okay, two of the videos kind of almost in a way addressed it. What do the eggs have to do with anything? What are the, all of that. And I actually thought about that a lot as I was preparing for this show. And you know what it came to me is that an egg is a renewal of that chicken, right? What comes first, the chicken or the egg? The egg, is like that. And in my neck of the woods in the United States, it's springtime, that blossoming. And what was announced by Robyn as she was there with the beautiful, we heard those crashing waves, is that the constantness of the waves was going there. And then she's talking about letting go and a renewal and starting over again. I know we're talking also about the traditions that you guys have. I want to open it up because Robyn's not here right this minute, but who can relate to that, or who would like to continue sharing about their traditions? Just go ahead. Okay, Juanita, let's have you go. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Tamara. Absolutely wonderful videos on the show. Amazing panel. I agree. It's a common question. I've been a pastor, or I was a pastor in the ministry, ordained pastor for 15 years, and people used to ask me, what do the eggs have to do, with the cross of Christ? And my tradition. Let me start with a tradition that we had when I grew up on the Friday, which was the celebration of the cross of Christ. We would stay in humility and in gratitude and in prayer for what Christ had done for us. On the Saturday, we would have an Easter egg hunt. And on the Sunday, we would celebrate the resurrection. And I want to say, I am a pastor, but I'm also a mother and I'm also a daughter. And, when my mom passed away in 2020 from brain cancer, I decided to carry that tradition on even after she passed. And I'll tell you why I do that, because it's the celebration that unites us. It's the family time that we share together that brings us together, because not everybody that we know or work with or do business with have the same religion as us. And yet it's a worldwide celebration in some form. So in respect of other traditions and other religions, and also to bring the fun into being a Christian, I have no problem letting my children do an Easter egg hunt. They enjoy it, but they do understand the meaning of what Christ did on the cross for us and the meaning of the resurrection. So amazing to see the videos and to see how everybody's messages just tie in.
Thank you very much for that. In fact, I'm going to bring in your video right now because you just sum it up together very nicely with what you just shared and what you shared on the video.
Good day everyone, I'm Juanita Kapp from South Africa. Goeiemôre, ek is Juanita Kapp van South Africa. I am so excited to make this video for Tamara. I cannot wait for her Easter show, tomorrow Sunday, and we are going to have such a fabulous time. And we're talking about seasons and really how they impact our lives. Now, I had the privilege to be able to celebrate Easter practically on both sides of the world. I just arrived back from Delaware, and of course in North America at the moment the season is going into spring, and I had the wonderful privilege to go to an amazing Valley River Park where the apple blossoms were in season. And then I came back here to South Africa a day or two ago, and I was able to see how the landscape here was changing as we go into Easter. We are currently going into autumn. So I had the privilege this year to practically celebrate Easter on both sides of the globe. And you know what caught my attention was the fact that in North America, as the blossoms were coming out and all the flowers were just celebrating joy and life, I realized that sometimes we are in a season of life-giving circumstances. Sometimes we are in a season of birthing certain things in our lives. And when I came back to South Africa, I saw that the leaves are starting to fall. I saw that the landscape is changing. The colors are different from when I left a few weeks ago. And I thought to myself, you know, sometimes we go through certain deaths in our lives. Sometimes we lay certain things to rest in our lives. Sometimes we move on from certain people and certain circumstances. And you know what caught my heart, what really just caught my attention and made me sit and ponder on the omnipresence and the omniscience of God and the amazing way that He works with us, is that He's with us whether we are going through a death or a rebirth in our circumstances, whether we are discovering new things about ourselves or whether we are laying certain things to rest. He is with us in North America. He's with us here in Africa, in the Southern Hemisphere, and He's always busy working behind the scenes to work everything out for our greatest good.
Thank you for that. And it was beautiful how you were able to talk about being in two different areas of the world that are celebrating going into spring and then going into autumn. And beautiful how you brought that all together in the space of what life is all about. I do want to ask, what time is it and what day is it for you there right now in South Africa?
Absolutely, it's Resurrection Sunday and it's 9:30 p.m.
9:30 p.m. And Mark, we didn't ask you, what day and time is it for you there in England?
It's Sunday and it's 8:30 p.m. here.
Okay, and Bilyana there in Belgium?
It's 10:30 p.m. in Bulgaria in East Europe.
Bulgaria, that's right.
And it's
Bulgaria. Okay, there we go. And then Sarah. Sarah, what about for you?
It's 10:30 p.m. Sunday.
10:30 p.m. Sunday. And you are there. Tell us a little bit about your area and what you're experiencing right now in Kenya. What time, what is it like? Are you going into spring? Are you going into autumn? And what is the tradition in your family?
Let me start by saying that the tradition for Easter has evolved over the years, being a young girl and being a woman right now. When I was younger, it was more about food, more about family, like spending time with family, having family members who are far away coming home and staying with us for a while. I used to study far away from home, so Easter was a time to come and actually relax, maybe sleep more. But right now, I can say Easter is more about spending time with family. We had plans for a vacation for this Easter, and it never materialized for some reasons because we had some issues. Like we lost one of my aunties, so we had to cancel. But nowadays, it's more about spending time with family, going out for vacations, learning about what Christ did for us in this season, because 80% of the Kenyan community is Christian. So most of the people, just like Dr. Vicky said, we hear the same Bible verses being repeated every single Sunday, but they are very new. You feel like they remind you of what Christ did for us at this particular time, and we are grateful. We are grateful. It's kind of renewing. Being a minister myself, I'm not a pastor, but I'm a minister in church. So it's very renewing to see that and reminding me that Christ died for me on the cross. He resurrected today, and we are celebrating this because he gave us new life. So I'm really grateful, and I can say that's what we do as Kenyans.
Thank you so very much. I appreciate that so very much and what you had to share. And what I want to do now is, Robyn, we've got you. Yay.
Hello. Sorry, my internet's unstable. I'm away on holiday and the sun is rising at the moment. So yeah, I'm in my car.
You know, I love it. This is a professional, guys. That she's been trying to get in and out through this start until this moment. She went out to her car to make sure that she could be on. Thank you so very much. We shared your video.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. And I wanted to explore it a bit with you in that you first of all, you've lived in a couple of different areas in that you're in the down under area, right? The New Zealand and then the Australia, and you're on the Queensland area, and you had the beautiful waves and everything showering. And you went into with your video about how Easter is different this year. And we started to explore that after your video, in that there's a season, there's a season in all things. Yes. And we've kind of explored that. There's a season in our families. There's a season within ourselves. And you really got personal with that. Let's get a little deeper into that, because I think there's going to be many that are going to be saying, Robyn, I hear you, and I'm here with you right now. I'm experiencing that too.
Well, I think that's exactly right. You know, everything in life doesn't stay the same, and the importance of being able to be flexible, I feel, is a key in life, and to be able to adapt and adjust and not make it mean anything that it's not as good, perhaps. That really we need to embrace these different seasons in our life, and that's exactly what I've done. I'm away with family at the moment, and they're actually leaving because it's Easter Monday here. We've had our Sunday, and over the years my Easters have just changed so much, but it's embracing them. I really feel that enhances our life in so many ways. It allows us to flow rather than getting stuck in that the family aren't all coming home, perhaps, as you know, or we're not having the same foods. We actually had a beautiful barbecue last night. And it's, even though we're coming into autumn, it actually really is really warm here, and we're still swimming at the beach. It was beautiful. So I think that's really important to know, that even when you're on your own, that you find that fulfillment perhaps in the memories that you've had in the past, but knowing that every season is for a purpose and nothing does stay the same.
And and personally, I need to say thank you for that, because total disclosure, this is the first year that I have lived away from my family and not traveled back to be with my family, my kids and my grandkids. I'm a nana, and it's not necessarily always easy to be far away from them and not in the same room and sharing those giggles and those moments in time. And yet I am here internationally with all of you. And what a treasured memory. Now I am creating a different memory, yet an equally treasured memory. And, you know, that's where life continues. And it's it's a matter sometimes of that perspective, right? And being open to those differences, because sometimes we may not allow for the miracle of that difference. Because we may be stuck in, oh, but this is the way we've always done it, and this is the way it needs to be done. And sometimes we need to open our minds a bit. And when I watched your video, I was like, oh, thank you. I needed to hear that. I needed to hear it. And I'm sure there's many others that do too. Who would like to share something right now before we go on to the next? Yes, Bilyana.
Yeah, I wanted to share that in Bulgaria today we celebrate a very special day for all the people whose name is after a flower. So they have like a very special name day, which is very unique, I have to say, for East Europe and for Bulgaria. And my name is also coming from herbs and from flowers, so I kind of celebrate a name day today. So it's a unique one. And for Easter, we start the celebration on Saturday night when we go to church at 12 midnight. We say Jesus is risen. We walk around the church 3 times with candles, and we're very careful not to burn someone around during these walks. And then in the morning, on Sunday, we start that game with the kids. But because we dye the eggs, we boil and dye the eggs on Thursday, one of the biggest challenge for all the moms around the country is to get those eggs somewhere to survive until Sunday morning. So imagine what a challenge that is for all the families around. And then the whole celebration starts on Sunday.
I love it. I love it. And I want to recognize Caroline saying that, you know, this is the first year. And I mean, I know that many, because of COVID, there was a whole time where people were separated then too. And our hearts are going out to you, Caroline, and hope that your family is feeling better here soon too. You know, I just absolutely love that game. I want to play it myself. I'm sorry, it's the kid in me that wants to go boil some eggs just to, you know, like, okay, whoever in the neighborhood wants to go play, because, you know, I believe, and this is where, you guys, I'd love to hear from you, that those people that have a belief system and that are connected to the Easter holiday and the, you know, Easter Sunday and the Christian faith, that it's okay to have fun and laugh and spend time together as the family. And I, at least with my family, it didn't negate the seriousness of the, but I want to hear from you guys because of the fact that there's a fine balance. And that's why I wanted to have us all together, was because we've got different areas of the world that basically celebrate, if you will, a very similar holiday, but possibly a little differently. And I want to respect those differences and understand them and embrace the differences if they are, and understand them a little bit more. And Dr. Vicky, I want to, you have kids, you have a big family actually that get together, and I love it. I wanted to get some of the pictures. I didn't have a chance to. Many times when your family gets together, you also will wear the traditional dress, because you have a lot of siblings. How many brothers and sisters do you have? And then you have your own children. And so I'd love to go in a little deeper into that.
All right. I've got 2 sisters and 2 brothers. And I've got 3 kids, a boy and 2 girls. Yes, when we do our celebration, we're so colorful. We go all the way. We wear traditional clothing. We wear the headgear, colorful ones, and shoes to match, bags to match, everything looking gorgeous. Since I've been away from Nigeria, which has, I think close to 30 years now that I left and moved countries, moved from places to places, I've grown to adopt many other Nigerians around me as a family. So when I still have Christmas or New Year or Easter party or whatever party that I have, all these people do come along, wearing the same, kind of traditional clothing, and we dance and we rejoice. We let our head down fully.
I love it. Thank you very, very much. And who else would like to share? I mean, we've been talking a lot about, different geographic areas and celebrations and such things. Is there something we haven't covered? Because I want to be respectful to everyone of any of your particular traditions or fun family get-togethers. Okay, Robyn, let's have you.
Well, I'm loving hearing about all these traditions and from you other ladies, because what I've noticed in New Zealand and Australia, that we aren't so, we're not so much for tradition, really. It's much more casual, and in many ways, as a Christian, it saddens me that in the shops and preparation leading up to Easter, there's hardly any talk about Jesus and really what the true meaning of Easter is. It would seem that it's all about Easter eggs and Easter bunnies. And whilst that is fun for the children, and we had an Easter hunt here yesterday, daughter-in-law's parents' place, and it was lovely. I'm really conscious of being able to bring, the Christian version of, the Christian reason for Easter into my family. And if you are, surrounded by a lot of Christian people, and you've got perhaps your church family. For me, I have been moving around a lot, so I don't have those, those people that I go to. I have to find that myself. So in amongst this very different way of celebrating that I enjoy, I have to find my own space and time to celebrate the Lord and what he's done for me and all of humanity. So that's my thought. I find Easter is about holidays, it's about having fun, and as I said, I see this happening a lot throughout even different times of the year, like Christmas, and now they're even bringing in legislation where you're not allowed to say Happy Easter or Happy Christmas or Merry Christmas. It's Happy Holidays, and I don't necessarily enjoy it like that, and I don't agree with it, and yet that is what we're living with. So once again, it's having the flexibility to not let that stop our own conviction or our own way of doing things, that we just find our own path and run with that despite what everyone else may be doing.
Well, thank you for that, because you just gave us a lot to think about right there. That's a lot. And I am going to go to Mark right now next, because Mark, you brought it up that you grew up in England. You subscribe, the chocolates and all that fun stuff. What was it like as a child for you growing up?
I would say it was all about the chocolates and the eggs, and a little bit, I think that maybe Robin mentioned, I didn't really know a lot about the meaning behind it to do with religion back then. So it was more just around the chocolate and the eggs, not knowing the real meaning behind it.
And thank you. Thank you for that, because you know what? I think that right there, you just hit a nail on the head. And one of the reasons that I love having this panel here, because if nothing else, being able to share with other people out there, possibly what's going to happen is that if someone doesn't understand or know, or might do a little research, to find out what is it all about, and what do I think about it? Why is it? Because I will tell you, it took, and I went to school. When I was going to college, I took a lot of what they called institute, and yet I didn't always get the dates figured out and how close the Passover and Easter and and then the Easter equinox, and then the different types of Easter that there are, because of the different religions that celebrate it slightly different. I didn't understand how they all didn't. I just always thought they all kind of aligned themselves on the same day and it all worked the same way. And that's what I love about this right now, because we're sharing that might not be the case. Yet what we are also sharing, and I want to go around now, is let's talk about the similarity of the love, and how getting together is where we all can find some kind of a unity, some kind of a fabulous commonality throughout the world. And who would like to start on that? Okay, Juanita.
Thank you, Tamara. Absolutely loved all the input here from all the panelists. And I have to say, this show rocks, Tamara, because it's an open-minded discussion. You mentioned a couple of power words. You mentioned game, you mentioned fun, and you mentioned respect differences. And I want to tie all of those together and say symbolism. If we find it hard to see how the cross and the Easter eggs come together, remember it's a symbol. And the cross, of course, is a symbol of what Christ did for us, but the Easter eggs is a symbol, a worldwide symbol for rebirth and renewal. And I love the fact that you mentioned that we are all united in love. It's a lot to take in when you look at all the religions and how they celebrate it and why. And I think we come back to a place of joy and love, and we celebrate our humanness as well. The fact that there are overlapping systems that we do follow, and we have our traditions, we have our worldviews, but that doesn't keep us from having a wonderful celebration worldwide.
I love it. I love it. Okay, 30 seconds each. I am going to go around and I'm going to let you all kind of button it up with your thoughts too. Sarah.
I feel Easter brings all of us together, because everybody in the world is celebrating this amazing holiday. Let me call it a holiday. And as we remember Christ, another country is remembering or is talking about a rebirth. So that's what I would say brings us together.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Bilyana.
I am in awe, and thank you so much, Tamara, for creating that panel today and bring us all together from the whole world, because that only shows how much we are all the same around the world, regardless where we are. And it's such a blessing to watch how in Australia right now is already sunrise, and it's pitch dark here in East Europe, and it's afternoon there in America. Like, every continent, as much as we are different cultures and religions, we are all together and we celebrate such a weekend in a beautiful way. So thank you so much.
I love it. I love it. Robyn.
Well, I'm reminded that Christ came to die for each and every one of humanity, and we are united through connection. But the biggest gift we can give one another is acceptance, that we're all different, we're all unique, we all have different cultures, and that's okay. And love and acceptance are like a perfect marriage to me. And yeah, when we give that to others, we receive that. And yeah, so I'm really passionate about accepting everybody's faith and knowing that I get to choose.
I love it. I love it. Mark.
I would say make it about family and people that you love and care about, even if it's by phone, by email, drop them a message, let them know that you care about them. And yes, and treat yourself to some nice yummy chocolate as well.
I am always going to think of you and chocolate from this point on, my dear. I am always, when I see you, Mark, my first thought's going to be, what kind of chocolate today? You know, I love it. I love it. Dr. Vicky.
Just like Mark or Mike said, I believe it's all about enjoying each other's presence, you know, family. And because you never know what's going to happen. I have all those beautiful memories of my time with my mom and my dad, when my dad would be on the pulpit preaching and talking about, you know, the steps and the messages from the death of Christ. And now they both know more, but I still remember all those beautiful memories. So Easter period, Easter break is usually about family. Don't let us take it for granted. We have now, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Family.
I love it. I love it. What I want to encourage everyone to do too, as we close this out, is one of the things that we did with my family is that we always did video every single year. And many of us have our phones. I'm going to encourage all of you today, get your phones out if you're with friends, family, by yourself. And if nothing else, do a self video. What is it that this year is all about for you? If it's spring down under, what is autumn about? If it's spring up above the equinox, what is spring about? If you are a believer of the Passover or Easter or whatever it may be, chocolate, I'm going to encourage each and every one of you. And then I want you to let us know that you did it. Put it in the comments that you videoed today and that you have a record of it. And get your family involved. Have the kids share their baskets if they went, or their treasures. And have those that are there share their favorite memories too. Because I will promise you this, that someday when you look back on the video from today, you will be so glad that you did this. It will be a treasured family memory. So that's what I would like for each and every one of you to please do. And with that, I want to say thank you to everybody that's been with us. Thank you to this fabulous panel, because you know what? The bottom line is this, is that we are a global family. We are a global family, and that love unites us all. Yes. Love of each other, love of our belief systems. And if you're struggling with love of yourself, reach out to someone else. Reach out to someone else and ask them today, what is it that is the most important thing about you today? And what is it that you see about me? And hear from them what it is that they see in you, because I bet you anything that you will then hear something that's going to trigger that treasure of, you know what? Yes, self-love is amazing, because for those that do believe what this day is all about, the miracle of rebirth, the miracle that anything and all things are possible, and that we can live united forever, is a pretty incredible concept, thought, and a 4-letter word, love. So with that, please remember, video. And like Mark said, reach out to your family members and those that you are not with. And if it's Monday, wherever you may be, it's not too late. Reach out to your family, let them know, and your friends, let them know how special they are. And next week, join us because we're going to be celebrating our Earth, because it is called Earth Day. It is this month, and we're going to be recognizing it with some people that are deep into helping renew our Earth, which is equally as important. So with that, happy Easter, happy Passover, happy spring, happy autumn. Wherever you may be, may it be a fabulous day. Bye, everyone.
Bye.